Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Engineer Masood Akhtar Kiani, and today we have the technical session number 83. Our subject is geophysical study of the project location. Prior to starting of the projects, geophysical study is very important according to the project volume of the projects and the volume of the structure and whatsoever it is. Before last time we discussed about the soil investigation. Soil investigation and geophysical study, there are complete two different subjects and two different scopes also. So uh, this have the two different ideas. Uh, Soil investigation is only the give the physical and the chemical and whatsoever the properties of the soil and the location and the strata and these things. But the geophysical study, it gives the more detail and the depth of the projects, very sophisticated information according to the cavities and how the cavity is built inside the earth. And sometimes it is very big cavities and there are so many things and it is studied under the microscope and many microscopic reports and the tabulation is according to the site requirements. So geophysical study today we will discuss, and there are the 20 contents we highlighted. So these contents are completely mirror image of the geophysical reports of the sites. So first one is what is the geophysical study? Second one is what are geophysical investigation? And third is which is the following geophysical methods? And fourth is what are the geophysical properties? And fifth is what are the geophysical features? Sixth is geophysical instrument. Seven is what are the geophysical processes. Eight is how the geophysical survey work. Nine is types of geophysical survey. 10 is what is the geophysical data. 11 is what is the resistivity method. 12 is what is the geophysical disaster. 13 is what are the instruments used in the geophysical survey. 14 is the what are the geophysical methods of the exploration. 15 is what are the geophysical consultings. So 16 is what are the geophysical nature hazards and whatsoever it is. So 17 is which is the example of geophysical disaster. 18 is the what is the electrodes configuration, and 19 is what is the electrical method of geophysical survey, and 20 is why the geophysical study is related to the seismic activities. So now we will discuss, go through one by one. So what is a geophysical study? Geophysical study is the study of the earth, physics, and structure using mathematically and the physical methods. This include everything from an understanding of the microscopic properties of mineral and the rocks to an understanding the global process such as earthquakes and the climate change, etc. So then what are the geophysical investigation? Geophysical investigation uh, introduction is the geophysical uh, investigation are used to estimate the physical properties of the surface by measuring analysis and the interrupting seismic electrical electronics graphs. Gravitations and the magnitude field measured at the ground surface within the boreholes. So borehole data will give us the proper information and in order to study the things. So what are the following geophysical methods? Geophysical method can be used cost-effective site characteristics, standardization, and the monitoring the observing variation in the electric, magnetic, and the seismic properties of the surface of the material. Common data collection approachable include borehole surface and the class borehole geophysics. So, what are the geophysical properties? Geophysical is the subject of natural science, concerned with the physical properties and the process of physical uh, interaction with the earth and the surrounding surface environment, and the use quantity is method for their analysis. So, what are the geophysical features? Geophysical deals with a wide range of the geological phenomena, including the temperature and distribution of the Earth's interior, the source configuration, and the variations of the geometric fields and the large scale features of the territorial crust, such as the raft configuration structure and the mid-oceanic ridges. So, what are the geophysical instruments? Measure the physical instrument attributes the Earth, and these measures are collected from the for the use by the UNESCO science community UNAVCO. So this is the science community. So what are the geophysical process? In terms of geophysical process, the biosphere embraces the reaction of the upper part of the Earth's crust to varieties of the acting mechanical forces, physical parameters, the rock massives, and the physical process in the atmosphere. So, how the geophysical survey work? The geophysical survey are ground based on the physical sensing technicians and the produce the detailed images or the map of the area. So, ground based survey are the included the seismic survey, vibration, and the weights of the explorations are recorded the geophones to provide the informations due to the properties of the rocks. So, the types of the geophysical survey, seismic methods such as the reflection, seismology, seismic reflection, and the seismic topography, and this is the survey carried out to discover the detailed distribution of the rocks formation beneath the surface of the earth, uh, seismo-electrical method. So next one is the what are the physical data. Geophysical data is used to provide information on the physical properties of the earth's surface and the surface of the crust. As a result, in geophysical detail can be helped locate hydrocarbons, minerals, aggregates, and the natural resources. So, what are the resistivity method? Electrical resistivity method is a uniform geophysical survey and its idea imaging the surface. So, these are the methods utilized different in the electrical potential to identify the surface material. So, what is the geophysical disaster? Geophysical disaster are the brought to about the tectonic and the seismic activities and below the surface, uh, Earth's surface. Any kind of geophysical disturbance and the disaster can be caused by the geophysical events to occur. And many of these kinds of disaster have similar signs that they are about to occur, such as the shaking and the unstable of the ground. Second name we can give the earthquake also, which is the types of the earthquake. So, what instrument used for the geophysical survey? Uh, Seismograph and the magnetometer are the two main types of the geophysical instruction used to surveying the Earth's crust and the detecting the earthquake. So, this is the detail of that one. The the seismic graph is a geophysical instrument and that detected the rocks of the intensity, direction, and the duration of the Earth movement, which is finally is the name of the earthquake also, and types of the earthquake or the aftershocks. So, what are the geophysical method of the exploration? Surface geophysical method include magnetic, gravitic, seismic reaction, seismic reflection, electrical resistivity, natural potential, and the ground penetration radar. Uh, the method are selected and with the depend upon the types of the information needed, the nature of the surface materials, and the cultural interference is also a part of this study. So, what are the geophysical consultings? Airborne, ground, and the borehole geophysical evaluation and the planning coordination for the field work, quality control, and the survey processing of the acquired data and the reporting. So, all of this data is very useful and it is a part of the geophysical study in order to reach some given milestone. So, of what are the geophysical natural hazards? Geophysical, a hazard obtaining from the solid earth, such as earthquake, landslides, and the volcano activities. Hydrology caused by the occurrence, movements, and the distribution of water on the earth, such as the flood and the mm, other similar uh, disasters. So, which is the example of the geophysical disaster? And earthquake, tsunami, volcanoes, landslides, and the other massive movements. These are the geophysical disaster which develop inside the ground and it reacts inside the ground and show the byproducts. So, what is the electrical configuration? The electrical configuration electrodes away the geometrical pattern of the electrodes used in the electrical surrounding. Constant separation, traveling, and the reduced polarization survey. A usual configuration compromise the current electrodes and the two potential electrodes whose separations are known as the uh, defined by the geometric factors. So, what are the next one is the what are the electrical method of the geophysical survey? Electrical method of the geophysical survey detect the surface effect produced by the electrical current flow in the ground. So, using the electrical method and many measures potential and the electromagnetic fields that occurs naturally and are produced artificially in the ground. So, why the geophysical study is the seismic? The research aim to interpretation and the geophysical composition and the structure of the earth. In case the earthquake, seismic, and the evaluation the potential damage, and to seek to minimize their impact through the movement of the construction standards. So the geophysical study is very, very important for also a key factor for the project. It's a project is very, very precious and it is technically and it is the also related to some special events or it's related to the safety or any other security purpose. So the geophysical study should be required in order to reach the quality parameter and the design parameters. So design parameters will be implement basis on the geophysical study. So what the geophysical study said, so the design parameter in accordance to the local code, it, it will cover the whole scenario and the whole scope of the study. So this was the relation. It is the interrelation between the construction and the geophysical study. We cannot say that it is not belong to the construction. This is we can say directly proportional to the project construction. If the project is very huge and even it is commercial or for the other purpose also, geophysical study is the must. So finally, the report should be compiled with all of these contents and some photographs and the tabulation also and calculation also whatsoever, and the microscopic analysis also. It can be studied and put in the measures and the recommendations. And definitely, it will go to the designers of the projects, and the design will be takes place in accordance to this study and the data of the uh, these reports. So, thank you very much, and have a nice day. In next subject, we will see each other by another subject. Thank you very much.